Hello, my name is Martin. I'm a linguist and a translator. Welcome to my language channel. Today we're going to talk about accent marks used in Spanish punctuation, what they mean, how they're used, and how to understand them. Some words in Spanish have accent marks placed on certain vowels in words such as nación or Málaga. Some words have an accent some of the time, but not always, as with tú and tú. Fortunately, Spanish spelling and punctuation are governed by the Royal Spanish Academy in Madrid in consultation with 23 national academies in Spanish-speaking countries, including the United States and Puerto Rico. The Real Academia Española has established logical, clear-cut, and comprehensible rules for placing accent marks. Once you have learned them, you will be able to write Spanish correctly. A caveat. Spanish actually has two accent marks, referred to as tildes. In addition to the accent marks placed on some vowels, tilde also refers to the curly mark placed above the letter N to give it an ñ sound, as in the word mañana. Since this ñ is a separate letter of the Spanish alphabet, and this tilde is not used for any other purposes as it is in Portuguese, for example, São Paulo, it will not be discussed any further in this video. Rules for placing accent marks. There are three basic reasons for placing accent marks. Number one, for pronunciation, to indicate where to place the stress in a word. For example, papa means potato, whereas papa means father. Number two, to distinguish between words that have the same spelling but have a different meaning. These are referred to as homonyms. And number three, to differentiate between grammatical categories of adverbs and pronouns. Let's start with accent marks to indicate accentuation, that is stress on a word. There are three basic rules of accentuation in Spanish. All words that deviate from these rules must place an accent mark on the vowel that is stressed. It's really quite simple, especially when compared to English, which has no consistent rules of pronunciation. Rule number one, words ending in D, L, R, and Z are stressed on the last syllable. Examples, delantal, hotel, hablar, comer, vivir, libertad, sociedad, capaz, audaz, andaluz. All words that do not follow this rule require an accent mark on the syllable that is stressed. Examples, árbol, mármol, ángel, alcázar, Martínez, Jiménez. Rule number two, all other words are stressed on the next to last, that is the penultimate syllable. Examples, hablo, digo, hago, niña, cuerpo, zapato, verde. All words that do not follow this rule require an accent mark on the vowel that is stressed. Examples, gramática, último, papá, mamá, pájaro, mecánico, quisiéramos, habláramos. This rule also applies to verb-pronoun combinations that are written as one word. Examples, dímelo, combination of di plus me plus lo. Vámonos, combination of vamos plus nos. Decírtelo, combination of decir plus te plus lo. Rule number three, a diphthong, that is a combination of two vowels, is pronounced as a single syllable. Examples, rey, dio, río, puedo, democracia. All words that have a different pronunciation require an accent mark on the vowel that is stressed. Examples, río, María, hipocresía, Raúl, continúe. Río means laughed, and río means river. Differentiation of homonyms. Now let's look at accent marks used to differentiate between words that have the same spelling but have a different meaning. Here is a list of the most common words in Spanish that require an accent mark to clarify their meaning. I won't read these words out to you, but you can pause this video to take a look. Differentiation between grammatical categories of adverbs and pronouns. Now we come to the third way that accent marks are used in Spanish, to differentiate between grammatical categories of adverbs and pronouns. Although some of the older rules on accent marks have been eliminated in recent spelling reforms, the Real Academia Española still requires that accents be placed on interrogative and exclamatory adverbs and pronouns to distinguish them from other types. Before proceeding, let's take a moment to explain the following terms. Interrogatory refers to a phrase or word that asks a question. Exclamatory refers to a phrase or word that expresses an exclamation. Relative refers to a phrase or word that refers back to a subject previously mentioned. By the way, you know you can bookmark this video so that you could come back and watch it again whenever you are in doubt. Interrogative and exclamatory adverbs and pronouns. The following adverbs and pronouns require an accent mark when used to ask a question or to express an exclamation. Cuándo, cómo, cuál, cuánto, dónde, adónde, por qué, qué, and quién. Please bear in mind that a sentence does not have to end with a question mark or an exclamation point to be considered interrogative or exclamatory. Relative, interrogative, and exclamatory adverbs. Here, we'll just look at 3 examples using the adverb como to show the difference between relative, interrogative, and exclamatory adverbs. Como is a relative adverb. El niño ya habla como una persona grande. Here, como is an adverb that relates back to the verb habla. It describes how the child speaks. Como is an interrogative adverb. ¿Cómo estás? This is a question asking how are you. Quisiera saber cómo estás. This is a statement that includes a question even though it is not written inside question marks. Como is an exclamatory adverb. Como me encanta la paella. This is an exclamation, hence como requires an accent mark. Beatriz me estaba explicando cómo le encanta la paella. This is a statement that includes an exclamatory phrase, como le encanta la paella, even though it is not written inside exclamation points. By the way, just a slight detour to explain what I mean by inside question marks and inside exclamation points. In Spanish, question marks and exclamation points are written in pairs, like quotation marks or parentheses or brackets in British English, and braces. An inverted question mark or exclamation point is actually the opening character, and the question mark or exclamation point at the end of the sentence is the closing character. Examples of relative, interrogative, and exclamatory pronouns. Now we use 3 examples of the pronoun que to show the difference between relative, interrogative, and exclamatory pronouns. Que is a relative pronoun. El niño que mencioné habla como una persona grande. Here, que refers back to the subject el niño. Que is an interrogative pronoun. ¿Qué te pasó? Here, que asks the question, what happened to you? Quisiera saber qué te pasó. Here, que again asks the question, what happened to you, but is part of a statement. I'd like to know what happened to you. And que is an exclamatory pronoun. Que paella más sabrosa. This is an exclamation written inside exclamation points. Next, Beatriz no para de maravillarse de qué rica sabe la paella. This is an exclamation written as part of a statement. Beatrice can't stop wondering how delicious the paella tastes. Now let's review what we have learned about accent marks in Spanish. Spanish has 2 accent marks, referred to as tildes. The curly mark placed above the letter N to give it an ñ sound, as in the word mañana, and accent marks placed on some vowels. The Real Academia Española has established logical, clear-cut, and comprehensible rules for placing accents. There are three basic reasons for placing accents. For pronunciation, to indicate where to place the stress in a word. To distinguish between words that are spelled the same but have a different meaning, referred to as homonyms. And to differentiate between grammatical categories of adverbs and pronouns. If the rules seem too complicated, bookmark this video and watch it again whenever you are in doubt. So that wraps it up for today's video on accent marks in Spanish. If you have found this information helpful, be sure to like this video and click on the subscribe button for more videos like this one. Thank you so much for watching.